Hey guys, I'm all back with another build video, and today I'm going to show you how to frame a door. I don't have a mock-up for you, but I'm going to show you how to frame it and all the measurements you need to know to frame a door successfully. Let's get into it. Now this is a wall that we just constructed, and it's a 2x4 wall with 1 foot on center studs, and we have, let's check the bottom, we have a 34-inch opening. Now because you have a 34-inch opening, it doesn't mean that you have a 34-inch door. You always frame your rough opening, which is this opening. When you frame rough opening, you always frame it 2 inches bigger width of the door. So the door we're putting here is a 32-inch door, so 32 plus 2 is 34. So our rough opening would be 34. Now if you were building a 36-inch door, you would have to add 2 inches again, and it would be 38. Now these measurements are for interior doors. So again, if you're going to build a 24-inch door, like install a 24-inch door, your rough opening should be 26 inches. So always add 2 inches for your width of the door. Now for the height, this door is an 80-inch door. 80-inch doors are standard in this area. So there's no finished floor at the moment. So with finished floor and the jamb of the door, it needs a bit more of a rough opening. So then you would frame it 3 inches higher. So then our door is 80 inches high. So then 80 plus 3 is 83. So the rough opening of this door should be 83 inches. For any wall, there's always a bottom plate and a top plate. Now there's many different names in any area, but in this area we call it top plate and bottom plate. And this is a stud. Now for this door, there's 2 studs where the door, the 34-inch rough opening, and after that there's 2 studs on each side. Now the 2 studs that are going to be, the door is going to attach to, are called the jack studs. Jack studs are studs that go from the top, bottom plate to the height of your door. Now in this case, we installed the bottom plate to the rough opening, and then our jack stud and king studs on top. So because the 2x4 on the bottom, it's not a 2x4, it's actually a 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch. So we cut the height of this 83, because the rough opening has to be 83. We cut this to 81.5 because 83 subtract 1.5. The height of this bottom plate is 1.5. We subtracted 83 with 1.5 and got 81.5. So this stud is 81.5. Same thing with this stud. This stud is on top of the top plate instead of on the side. And so we subtracted 1.5 from 83 and it's 1.5. And these 2 studs are going to be your jack studs. There's many different names, but in this area we call it jack studs. Now the stud right next to it is called a king stud. The king stud goes from the bottom plate all the way to the top plate. Now that's what carries the load. If it was a load bearing wall, or in this case it's just attached to the top plate. Same thing on this side. Next to your jack stud, there's a king stud, and that goes all the way to your top plate. Now because of this HVAC pipe and the HRV pipe, we had to do a notch in the wall. So even though this is the header of the door just continued because that's the height that we needed for the drop down. And even though this is the top plate, now the top plate came down, and this is the top plate for this area. So the king stud, in this case, the king stud and jack stud are both the same height, but they're classified as jack and king. And on this side, where it's a normal wall, it's a king and it's a jack. The king, a good way to remember is king. It's always the highest, so it touches the top plate, and jack is lower, so it goes to the height of the door. Now you've got your header. If it's a load-bearing wall, always talk to your engineer and ask what size header you need. But this is not a load-bearing wall. It's just a wall to create a regular stud wall. And so we just needed a header that was just made by 2x4 that was just on top, because there's no load. That's good enough. There's nothing bearing on this wall, so this doesn't have to be structural. It's just a normal stud wearing wall. So when you frame your wall, always know the center of your door. Then, after you know your center, lay it out on your bottom and top plate. So when you're framing a wall, you always do your layout, draw your on centers, all your studs, then draw the center of the door. So the center of the door, and then find out what size door you're going to install when you're all done your drywall and all finished floor. What size door you're going to install. Add 2 inches. So in this case, this is a 32-inch door. Add 2 inches, it's 34. So the center of 34 is, the middle of 30 is 15, and then add 2 inches, 17. So you want to put the center mark on your layout, so the door layout, put the center at 17 at the end of your tape, and then mark 34 for this case, and that's going to be your door size. Then you draw 1.5 inches offset, 1.5 inches on each side, because you need 1.5 for your jack and 1.5 for your king, and then on both sides. Then you can cut your bottom plate. You don't cut your top plate, you only cut your bottom plate. Cut your bottom plate at 34 off, and frame your wall, stand your wall. In this case, the floor is concrete, so we use some ram set fasteners. You can do that. If it's on a wood subfloor, you can use nails. And then in this case, the ceiling is wood, so we just nail it into the rafters, and you have a finished wall. Now you know how to frame a door. Again, just to recap, 3 inches higher than what your finished door height is going to be, and 2 inches wider than what your finished door is going to be, to create a rough opening. And now you know how to frame a door in a wall properly.